In the spring of 2003, a 13-year-old boy named Tyler Edmonds confessed to something shocking. He said he helped his half-sister, Christy Fulgum, kill her husband. What looked like a random tragedy in a normal home was actually a story of manipulation and betrayal. Thanks to his mother's courage and his lawyer's hard work, the truth came out. This is the story of Tyler Edmonds. Tyler Edmonds was born on June 14, 1989, in Mississippi. His parents were Sharon Clay and Danny Edmonds. Danny already had a teenage daughter named Christy from a previous relationship. When Tyler was about 4 years old, his parents divorced. For various reasons, he was not allowed to see his father. As he grew up, Tyler really wanted to see his dad again. During this time, Christy became his only connection to that side of the family. When Tyler was about 12, Christy started secretly planning weekend visits with him without their mother knowing. This made Tyler feel very close to Christy. To him, she was the most important person in the world. At that time, Christy was married to a man named Joey Fulgum. From the outside, Joey and Christy seemed like a happy couple. With 3 beautiful children, Joey was known as a committed family man. But Christy was not happy. She was having affairs with other men. The situation was so bad that the couple even appeared on a talk show. On the show, Christy admitted that her youngest child was not Joey's. Even after this, Joey decided to stay and be a father to the child, but Joey's efforts did not work. In 2002, Christy left him, took the children, and moved in with her lover, Kyle Harvey. However, by May 2003, she had moved back in with Joey. They were trying to fix their marriage, or at least that's what Joey believed. Meanwhile, 13-year-old Tyler was a good student. He was not violent, he was not in a gang. He went to church regularly and was a kind, helpful boy. This kindness, however, would become his biggest weakness. On Friday, May 9th, Tyler was excited. Christy had promised him a weekend trip to the beach for Mother's Day. That afternoon, Christy picked up Tyler. They went to her house where Joey was with the kids. Then they all went to buy food. When they got back, Joey went to bed. Christy and Tyler stayed up on the computer. Early the next morning, Christy woke up Tyler and the children. She told everyone to get in the car while she finished packing. Christy took a long time to come out, but Tyler was just thinking about the fun weekend ahead. Finally, she came out, closed the trunk, and handed Tyler a wallet to put in the glove compartment. They drove away, but Christy took a different route. She told Tyler the plans had changed. First, they would go pick up her boyfriend, Kyle. Then they would all go to the coast. At the beach, they stayed in a hotel. Even though Christy didn't have a job, she paid for everything with over $1,000 in cash. While they were on the trip, Joey's brother was getting worried. He had been trying to call Joey all weekend with no answer. On Saturday, May 10th, which was Joey's birthday, he didn't show up for an air show they were supposed to go to. This was very unlike him. By Sunday afternoon, Joey's brother knew something was wrong. He went to Joey's house. When no one answered the door, he broke in through a window. Inside, he found a horrible scene. Joey was lying face down on the bed. He was dead. Joey's brother called the police. The police confirmed Joey had been shot in the back of the head. They searched the house, but found no bullet shell casings and no wallet. Meanwhile, Christy was driving back from the trip. Her phone started ringing non-stop. After she answered one call, her face changed. She told Tyler the terrible news that Joey was dead. Joey's brother was direct with the police. He said he knew who was guilty. Even though Christy was the grieving widow, she became the main suspect. The police found her at her mother's house. She acted innocent, but the police had enough reasons to arrest her. But then, Christy went to the police station herself with a disturbing story. She told the police that 13-year-old Tyler had killed Joey. She said Tyler got angry when she told him that Joey was abusing her. According to her, Tyler waited for Joey to fall asleep, took a rifle, and shot him. Hearing this, the police called Tyler's mother, Sharon. They asked her to bring Tyler to the station to make a statement. When they arrived, the police separated Sharon from her son. An officer took Tyler to an interrogation room. This was the start of a nightmare. For hours, Tyler said he had nothing to do with Joey's death. He was confused. When the police told him that Christy had accused him, he was shocked. He couldn't believe his sister would blame him for such a horrible crime. The police kept pressuring him. They told him it was better to confess. They said Christy had already told them everything, and this was his chance to tell his side of the story. Tyler was a scared and confused child. He was alone with trained police officers without his mother or a lawyer. The pressure was too much. Finally, after hours of questioning, Tyler broke down and said what they wanted to hear. He confessed. In his confession, he said that he and Christy had both held the gun and fired it at Joey while he slept. He described details like the pillow being covered in blood. The police had their confession. The case seemed closed, but something was very wrong. Tyler was not a violent child. He had no motive. Most importantly, the physical evidence would later show that his confession could not be true. Tyler was charged with murder. At 13 years old, he was facing life in prison for a crime his sister committed and pinned on him. His mother, Sharon, was heartbroken, but determined. She knew her son was innocent. She knew Christy had manipulated and used him. Sharon found a lawyer named Steve Fariz. He was known for taking on tough cases and not giving up. After looking at the case, the lawyer was sure Tyler was telling the truth. Tyler wanted to take back his confession and tell the real story, but the judge would not allow it. Only the first confession was allowed as evidence. The trial began on July 20th, 2004. Experts know that a confession is very powerful evidence, even if it might be forced or false. During the trial, a forensic pathologist testified. He said that the bullet's path matched Tyler's story. The expert claimed that two people had held the gun based on the angle of the wound. In the end, the verdict was devastating. Tyler was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole until he was 65. The sentence was so harsh that even Joey's family felt sorry for Tyler. Tyler's lawyer did not give up. He believed there were too many mistakes in the trial and that it should be done again. He kept working on the case. Meanwhile, Tyler stayed in jail. Sharon was a single mother with little money. Her only choice was to give up everything to save her son. She sold her things, worked multiple jobs, and spent all her time fighting for Tyler's freedom. The appeals process was long and difficult. The first appeal was rejected. Tyler's case caused a lot of public debate. It even led to new laws because people thought the sentence was too harsh for a child. In 2007, the ruling was overturned. The judge found that the pathologist had acted outside his expertise by telling the jury that two people fired the gun. The state did not want a new trial. They offered Tyler, who was now 18, a plea deal for a lesser crime called involuntary manslaughter. If he accepted, he would get out of prison in just a few months. But if he went to trial again and lost, he would go back to prison for life. Tyler and his lawyer decided to fight to prove his innocence. Meanwhile, Christy was also on trial. She was found guilty of murder and sentenced to death. She was also given 12 more years in prison for convincing two men to help her try to escape from jail. The true picture of Christy Fulgum began to emerge. She was not the caring sister Tyler believed her to be. She was a manipulative sociopath who used her own brother. The evidence against her was strong. She had multiple life insurance policies on Joey. She had even asked her own father for a gun to kill Joey, offering him a new car in return. She had many affairs and showed no remorse. Tyler's new trial began on October 28, 2008. His defense team stated strongly that he was unfairly accused based on a false confession. The first witness the defense called was Christy herself. Everyone in the courtroom was tense, but for every question, Christy refused to answer, on the advice of her lawyer. This actually helped Tyler. It allowed the jury to see Christy's character for themselves. The defense then showed a video of Christy and Joey on the talk show. This showed her ability to manipulate. Tyler's lawyer showed the real motive for the crime. Christy wanted to collect the life insurance money. Then Tyler's father, Danny, testified. He gave the most shocking revelation. He said Christy had asked him for a gun to kill Joey. She even offered him a new car in exchange. The prosecutor's main evidence was still Tyler's confession. When asked about it, Tyler said he had lied to protect his sister. The prosecutor said this showed Tyler was also capable of lying to protect himself. Tyler's lawyer wanted an expert on false confessions to testify, but the judge said no. This was a big blow to the defense. But the lawyer had one last piece of evidence. In his first confession, Tyler said the pillow was covered in blood after the shooting. The defense called another pathologist who said the gun used could not have caused the damage. Tyler described crime scene photos proved this. The pillows had no blood on them. The scene was clean, and there was no sign that anyone had cleaned it up. On October 31st, 2008, the judge let the jury hear Tyler's second statement, where he tried to take back his confession. It was a tense moment in the courtroom. Then Tyler himself testified. He said that during their trip, Christy had confessed to him that she killed Joey. She then made up a story for him to tell the police. She even told him she would give him a signal when it was time to change his story and take the blame. So when the police brought her in during his interrogation, he thought that was the signal he thought he was protecting her. He trusted her completely. Tyler talked about the years of manipulation. He explained how alone and scared he felt during the police questioning. He just wanted it to be over. The defense showed a clear picture. A vulnerable 13-year-old boy, desperate for a connection with his sister, was manipulated by her. She used him as a pawn for murder. Finally, the jury reached a verdict. They found Tyler not guilty. When he heard the words, Tyler hugged his lawyer and his family. He felt like a huge weight was lifted from his shoulders. Later, he would say he would always remember those freeing words outside the courthouse. An emotional Tyler thanked God for answering his prayers. He said he was glad he could finally move on with his life. The first thing he did was move away from Mississippi. His case also exposed the pathologist who had testified against him. That pathologist's faulty work had also led to the wrongful conviction of 2 other men who were later freed in 2008 after DNA proved their innocence. The state of Mississippi removed that pathologist from its approved list. As for Christy, she appealed her death sentence. In 2010, it was overturned. Instead, she was sentenced to life in prison without parole. Tyler said the last time he heard from Christy was in 2008. She sent him a letter to apologize, but she never said what she was apologizing for, which made him angry. It was typical of Christy. Even when saying sorry, she couldn't fully take responsibility for what she did. Experts who studied this case said Christy's behavior showed signs of narcissism and sociopathy. She lacked empathy and was only interested in protecting herself. She was willing to sacrifice even her own brother. This case makes us ask important questions about how we treat children in the justice system. Tyler was just 13. He was questioned for hours without his mother or a lawyer. The fact that a child can be convicted based on a confession gotten under such pressure is very troubling. It shows we need better protections for minors. Studies show that young people are more likely to give false confessions. They are more easily influenced by adults in authority and may believe that confessing will help them. The story of Tyler Edmonds is a sad reminder of how justice can fail, especially for children. It is a story of manipulation and betrayal. But it is also a story of hope, a mother's love, a lawyer's dedication, and a young man's strength. Tyler Edmonds lost 5 years of his life for a crime he did not commit. 5 years when he should have been in high school, going to dances and starting college. Instead, he was in prison. The psychological damage was huge, but Tyler survived. He was cleared of all charges and got his life back. As for Christy Fulgum, she remains in prison. Her actions destroyed many lives: Joey, Tyler, and her own children, who lost both parents. Now that you know this story, what do you think? Was it fair for Tyler, a minor, to be questioned without his mother or a lawyer? How much do you think that situation influenced his confession? This case should make us all think carefully about how children are treated in the justice system. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please like and share it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon so you can be the first to hear about such real-life stories.